Hello, and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Spoiler Alert, episode 12, where basically we're gonna spoil any kind of shit you guys want to talk about. So I'm not doing reviews of anything. So yes, I know the Eternals came out. Yes, I have seen it. I am not going to be doing the review until tomorrow. But yes, we can talk spoilers about that one. But before we get started, let me take care of some business first, then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithm, all the stuff you guys are watching, tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. Also, if you want to know when I'm going live again next, you can hit that bell down below and YouTube won't notify you because that's what they've been doing lately. So best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages. So this YouTube channel page, a Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. Sorry, I'm just watching the dog rip apart another doll that she's got. So her toy, that's what she's doing. She's ripping it apart because she's pissed that I'm on online. Anyway. So what do you guys want to talk about here? I saw Mr. Roboto. You haven't seen The Sixth Sense? He's a ghost. It's been out for 15 years now. So Bruce Willis is a ghost. He doesn't know it. We don't know it until the very end. And the kid, he sees dead people. So that's what happens. Yeah. And Applegrow says, my favorite spoiler is still they find Spock. Yeah. Applecrow says, just don't tell me how Empire ends. I've only seen the first half. I assume it explains how it's connected to Empire Records. Are you talking about Empire, the Steve Buscemi series, or are you talking about Empire, the there's a lot of different empires out there, so you need to actually specify which one you're talking about there, Applecrow. Ooh, she's just getting into it with a toy over there. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Philip Amos says, I got 2 notifications tonight. Wow. Amazing. That's actually good. So you actually got a notification for the community one and also for the actual, streaming portion of it, which is good. Maybe YouTube's actually fixed their shit, which is finally, about goddamn time. Yeah. Arissa Roboto says, are you really going to spoil The Sixth Sense? I just did, Mr. Roboto. So what I do is I just do different movies that have already been spoiled like long ago. That's what I use as the thumbnail for these things sometimes. Yeah. Mork says, I saw Dune again, this time at the theater. It didn't change my opinion. What, you liked it, right, Morks? I can't remember if you did or not. Applecrow says he gets shot in the first scene and the kid is the only person who talks to him. So I was surprised when that was supposed to be a twist. Oh, okay. Well, aren't you, Mr. Smarty Pants there, Applecrow? Oh, you liked it. That's right. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say flat out here that Dune is actually a superhero movie, and not everyone can direct superhero movies. Dennis Villeneuve being the same thing, he can't direct superhero movies. Think about it. You got a guy who is an alien. He comes from a different planet. He comes to another planet to live amongst those people. He adopts their ways, and then he ends up gaining superpowers by inhaling or being exposed to something that can only be found on that one planet. And he can see like all different kinds of futures and whatnot. Then he's hailed as a god. So there you go. Yes, Dune is a drug movie. It's all about snorting coke and that you can see through time. That's what it's supposed to be promoting. Uh, so yeah. Apple Crow says, I'm sure there are plenty of plot points that have been gone over in my head. I just got lucky on that one. Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't. I don't think James Gunn would actually touch Dune. I think he's way too smart for that. To tell you the truth. Also, I just don't think he's like one of those people that really is into Dune. I just have this feeling that he is one of those people that's really not into Dune. So, Coke lets you see the future. It depends on how much you do. If you do like the Tony Montoya mounds, then yes, you can see through time, and sometimes you can travel through time. I am in no way, by the way, advocating cocaine use, by the way, in this show. So I'm just saying this is what these movies are promoting because it's Hollywood, and that's what they do. They're all cokeheads in Hollywood. You know this. You started watching You in Netflix. I'm sorry. I watched The Harder They Fall, which is good. I mean, I still don't like modern music in westerns. It doesn't. eh, and hip hop, I like even less in westerns. But I like the entire cast. Um, I know of all the characters that they are not characters, all the people that they play because they actually played real people. And yes, that was a whole fictional event that happened, but still, it was actually pretty good. It was a lot of fun. There was parts of it that are really fucking slow. I'll say this right now, and it could have really had an editor go in and polish it up a little bit more. But for them, for what it was, I liked it. I actually enjoyed it. And Jonathan Majors, of course, killed it. Delroy Lindo, man, as fucking uh God, now I'm just blanking on his name. He's a guy who was actually the a real inspiration for the Lone Ranger, and he was a black U.S. Marshal. And yeah, I wasn't expecting Delroy Lindo to be in that, and that was actually kind of fun. So, I am a fan of the westerns. Yes, I am, Mr. Roboto. Yeah. Philip Ademic says trying original recipe Coca-Cola is on your bucket list. Okay. I don't know if there's any original Coke cans left out there of the so the original recipe of Coke no longer exists. The one they call original Coke really is not the original Coke. They changed it. So even the quote unquote Mexican Coke, the one that's in glass bottles and all that stuff, is the same shit that you get in the cans. It just tastes it supposedly people say it tastes different. And I was Bass Reeves. Thank you, Philippe Demick. Yes, Bass Reeves. Jim West. Yes, I am a fan of the old Wild Wild West TV show. Not the Will Smith one, the Will Smith bastardized, fucked up movie interpretation of it. I'm of the Robert Conrad version. Yeah, with Dr. Lovelace, the original Dr. Lovelace, who was you know a little person. So yeah, that was good stuff. But yes, Bass Reeves. Thank you, Philip. And Nat Love was actually a real person as well. All those people that they played were all real people, so it was pretty good. Will Smith has not done a good movie in a long time. I mean, case in point, the one that he's doing, Sir Richard, the one based on Serena and Venus Williams' dad, is going theaters and HBO Max because Warner Brothers just doesn't have any faith in that movie, even though it's supposed to be Oscar bait, but still. And then again, I have to wonder now. So it's coming out on theaters the same day as HBO. Oh, you know what they're going to do? They're going to do one day early in theaters, and then that way it gets around the rule for Oscars that it has to be in theaters first before it goes onto TV to be considered for an Oscar. Yes, the original Wild Wild West was steampunk. Yes, it was. It's if you really want to go technical on it, it is the first version of steampunk out there. So, and no, the original did not have a giant spider. The giant spider is something that I forget who the guy was at Warner Brothers who wanted that thing. He was some producer who fucking wanted some giant spider. He wanted it in Superman Lives, which is what Will Smith was working on, or not Will Smith, Kevin Smith was working on the script for Superman Lives. Um, and then it ended up going into Wild Wild West instead because Superman Lives died, thankfully, because that Nick Cage piece of shit, or Nick Cage was supposed to play Superman with a see-through body or something like that, where you can see his internal organs, and yeah, it just looked as trippy as it sounded. Um, so yeah, that's what that all came about from. That was just because some cokehead producer wanted a giant spider in a movie. I want the giant spider. Keep putting the giant spider. Put the giant spider in. Work the giant spider in somehow. Come on, I want the giant spider. Put the giant spider in. I know it's a love story, but put the giant spider in. So, yeah. Again, like I said, this is the reason why I'm fairly convinced all producers at Warner Brothers have, a tube jammed up their ass and they get coke blown up repeatedly. Yes. Butt chugging, as the term is called. So, what else you guys want to talk? Oh, you know what? I know what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what we do in the shadows. Holy shit! Did you guys see that? Um, Colin Robinson dies in What We Do in the Shadow. What We Do in the Shadows. Nandor decides that he's going to go back to his homeland, and everyone's breaking apart. And Nadia ends up becoming. She gets invited to become the sit on the World Vampiric Council in London, which of course Laszlo does not want to go back to London, and so he takes Gizmo and tosses him in his coffin instead, along with some Pedialyte and some Oreos, and sends them on their way. And we find out that Colin Robinson's body has produced a baby Colin Robinson, which was weird. And that's what he stayed behind to take care of. The TV series, Mr. Roboto. Yeah, because that's the one that's actually producing new stuff. Because the movie was done like 10 years ago. So, yeah, that kind of belabors the point there. So yeah, that was some like there was a lot of stuff that happened there. And then also Nandor was gonna change was finally gave in and was going to turn Gizmo when they got to their home when he got to his homeland. Because Guillermo was gonna go with him, um, and be his valet and all that stuff. And yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in that series. A lot of stuff that was going on. It was pretty good. They did a good job of it. I like Christian Shaw too, coming in as helping them out with the Vampire Council stuff that was happening, the Staten Island Vampire or the East Coast Vampire Council stuff. That was some funny shit. So, and she had a thing for Guillermo going on and whatnot. So, yeah. Apple Crow says, "Man, I really wish Foundation was more widely available because there is so much good and bad to talk about it." Apple Crow, I don't mind. I'm not going to see it, so I mean, it's on Apple TV, and Apple TV, like I said before, just doesn't have the amount of shows that warrants me paying money to actually take and look at any of their shows to pay a subscription price for them. Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, Hulu right now, I actually still have a Hulu account, mainly because Hitmonkey's coming on next week, the week after. Next week, I believe, is when Hitmonkey. Yeah, next week is when Hitmonkey comes out. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna cover Hitmonkey. I'm a slave to the Marvel stuff. Yes, I know. And speaking of which, the Eternals, we got those two end credits teasers that happened there, and I'll say this much: I really liked that they brought in Pip the Troll and Star Fox, or Eros as they call him, also into all of this, because that means that Adam Warlock, of course, isn't far behind. And I just didn't like the CGI they did on Pip the Troll. So it looked unfinished. It looked very unfinished. Excuse me, and I'm not a fan of Patton Oswalt doing the voice again. They could have found somebody else to do Pip the Troll. Honestly, I would have actually preferred Seth Rogen, to tell you the truth. I would have preferred Seth Rogen to voice Pip the Troll, because Pip is more of a drunkard slash stoner, if you will, and I think that would actually worked a lot better. Harry Styles, though, he looks the part, but well, we're gonna have to see how he acts on that as Star Fox slash Eros. And then, of course, at the very end, when you had Dale getting ready to touch the ebony sword, is what it was. And then you hear somebody say, "I wouldn't do that if I were you." And that voice is actually supposed to be Blade. That was Mahershala Ali. So yeah, so that was his official introduction to the MCU as Blade. Was just a voice. And so I guess it's not going to be 2024 anymore for Blade. I'm fairly sure what they're doing is they're setting up Midnight Suns in all of this. So if Blade's there, Black Knight is next, of course, with the Ebony Blade. Uh, Ghost Rider, most likely, because I heard Ghost Rider is in Doctor Strange 2. Um, who else are they going to get in there? They're probably going to have something else in Doctor Strange 2 as well. So I'm digging where they're going. Oh, and Werewolf by Night was already cast for Halloween of 2022. So yeah, you're gonna have the whole supernatural gang there for Midnight Suns. Yeah. Hopefully the good one, Mr. Roboto, which would be Johnny Blaze. But you can actually have Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch because they were both in Midnight Sun. So you can actually have both of them show up. But most likely they're going to try and do the new one, Ghost Driver, the guy who has the car, which sucks balls. I mean, it's just, or they could do the new Ghost Rider who is female. And that one, I think that comic got canceled fairly quickly. I think it only got like 8 issues in and then they canceled it because no one was buying it. And it's not just because of the character, it's just because the writing was bad. So yeah, Ghost Uber driver, that's it. Philip says, I still like hearing from the cast of Band of Brothers. The actors ask the soldiers, did you do this? No, we did that. Okay. What was Band of Brothers? Wasn't that in like 20 years ago? Apple Crow says Foundation just continues to be like two shows, even in the writing, where one plot has amazing acting and story, and the other is like medium grade sci-fi production. And speaking of sci-fi, they've got Day of the Dead that they're working on, or they have out now, and the Chucky series. And I've been trying to. I watched the first episode of Day of the Dead, which is just fucking god awful. I watched it for free, and then I was trying to watch Chucky, but then Sci-Fi wanted like a cable provider, and then I think I was trying to watch it on Peacock, and Peacock wanted a cable provider, and I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not paying for your, free bullshit. They do the same thing with Adult Swim. where you're trying to watch that stuff. It's free stuff, and they really just don't want to let you watch it. Especially, I mean, I have HBO Max for Adult Swim, so they should just have it right on HBO Max. Oh, it's a 20-year anniversary of Band of Brothers, Philip. Okay, that's what I thought. Dante S says Invasion on Apple TV is. I kind of figured it was going to be Dante. Um, it looked like a mystery box tour that was going on there, and I just had this feeling that it looked like a big mystery box because everyone's like, "Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god, what's happening?" And it was all reaction shots more than anything else. Which you know how much I love reaction videos, right? Yeah, you guys know who you are out there in YouTube land. Um, it's a TV series, Mr. Roboto. Try and keep up here. It's Day of the Dead was a TV series on Syfy that's loosely based on Romero's movie. It's on yes, the Syfy channel. Um, what else is out there? I've been watching a lot of I've been watching the animated Cowboy Bebop, again since it's on Netflix, and of course the live action one's coming up. Um what else is out there? Oh, and Forged in Fire. I find it cathartic watching people trying to make knives in 3 hours time. Yeah. Dante S says no aliens, no characters, likable, subpar acting. Yeah. Uh That's what I kind of figured it was going to be Dante. They were the way it was framed in the trailer was that they heard aliens were coming and everyone on the planet was panicking. And that's all it was going to be was a panic because no one knew if the aliens were coming or not and weird shit would happen and signaling the aliens arrival. And that's kind of how I figured it was going to be, which is the least amount of special effects you can do and still uh kind of have a series that is sci-fi. Yeah, because I'm fairly sure Apple is starting to pull back the checkbook and go, no, we don't want to fund this anymore. Apple Crow says, I heard it described as worse than Foundation, so I've avoided it. You could tell from the trailer, man. I mean, you could tell from that trailer. The trailer was horrible. It looked bad. Yeah. I mean, there's stuff you can tell that looks really bad just from the trailer. I mean, Dune. I mean, yeah, Dante S says, I like Foundation, but the Distant Planet story is a bit slow. Uh, I love the Empire character. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about, but sure. Okay. What else is out there? Well, we do have Doom Patrol coming up. The season finale is happening on Thursday. So, was Doom bad or just a sleeper hit? I didn't like it, Mr. Roboto. I thought it was fairly dull and kind of lifeless. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I've seen worse movies, but it was something that needed an editor. And honestly, it's the first hour of David Lynch's version of Dune, just with better special effects. That's all it is, but worse acting, if that's even possible. That was kind of a weird thing. No, I didn't like Dune. I'm not a fan of Dennis Villeneuve. His movies are just boring. Arrival, I figured out in like the first 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, can you get to the point? Can we get to it? We know what's gonna happen. So and no, it just kept going on because he was trying to be, witty and auteur. He was trying to be smart, and it wasn't a smart movie. It was just dull. He has a way of, I mean, he's a really great visual director where he can do some pretty scenery and stuff like that. But I have a feeling he doesn't direct his actors whatsoever and just tells them to do what they feel like. I mean, Javier Bardem was so bored, he did all his acting lying down in Dune. Literally, you go and take a look. I think there's one scene of him standing up. The rest of it, he's lying down the entire time. He couldn't be bothered to stand and deliver his lines because he was that bored. And it was just lifeless too. I mean, there was no, you know, there really was no gravitas to it. There was no soul to any of the characters either. It played, and some of it even played out like an Enya video. And I know some of you kids out there don't know who Enya is. Just YouTube it. You'll see. You'll see who Enya is. Enya. Enya. It's some really shitty music too, so you can put the mute on and you can just watch the video and you're like, oh yeah, that's Dennis Villeneuve. It's almost shot for shot, but anyway, I digress on that one. Oh, what else was out there that's been any good? Um, who can say what Enya is? No, I don't know. Enya is a fleeting grasp of trying to grasp the wind through your fingers and through a cheesecloth grated. I don't know where I'm going with this. I really don't. Oh man. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got there. There wasn't too much out. I mean, I really wanted to talk about what we did in the what we do in the shadows. A little bit about Eternals. I am going to cover Eternals tomorrow, of course, in more detail. Um, and trying to, yeah, there really wasn't much else out there. So I'm going to end it here then. How about that? Unless you guys want to talk about something else. Going once, going twice, going three times. Sold to the silence. All right. So, what else do I have going on this week? Well, funny you should ask. Tomorrow is going to be Is It Worth My Time? The Eternals. That's right. I'm going to cover the Eternals, tell you what I thought about it, yay or nay, all that kind of stuff. Um, Wednesday, I'm going to be off. Thursday is going to be the season finale of Doom Patrol. That's right. Season finale of Doom Patrol. Friday, I'll be off. Saturday will be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend or genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. And then Sunday, I'll be off. And then Monday, I think we're going to roll back around again with another spoiler alert. I think Monday nights is actually a good thing right there. So we can do it from there. I think that's what I'm doing anyway. You know what? Let's take a look at the book since I've got the book right here. I've got my scheduling book is what I've got here. For those of you who don't think I don't schedule, I actually do. Yeah, that's actually about right because Doom Patrol, SBO. Yep. All right. There we go. Yep. Spoiler alert next Monday. I think that'll work. All right. So thank you to everybody joining me today in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you don't want to be notified, best thing to do is go to suspended fan, hit that I want to run backwards there. If you don't want to be notified, hit that bell down below. YouTube won't send you a notification. Actually, it did send some people that today, but who knows? It's a crapshoot if you're going to get notified by YouTube or not. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages on there as well. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again tomorrow for spoiler, or excuse me, for Is It Worth My Time? Forgot what it was there. And until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find out that you're working for a Warner Brothers executive and they want a giant spider in their movie, and you got to put it in no matter what. Doesn't make any difference that the movie is all water based. You still need to put a giant spider in there somehow. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get those flu shots too while you can, and take care out there. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks, everybody. Good night.